Minecraft too boring for you? You got an old Wiimote lying around that you want to implement into Minecraft? Let's make it happen. So here we are inside of Minecraft, and let's do a little bit of test with just the Wiimote and Minecraft. And sure enough, you can look around. I can destroy blocks. I can place blocks down. I can walk wherever I want, jump, move my inventory, crouch, and open up my inventory, and then even use the mouse to grab certain things and put it down. And I have not touched, like, here are my hands. And obviously I'm using the Wiimote to pull this off, but it's pretty amazing. I'm doing all this without the mouse and keyboard. Anytime that I get a little confused, I can obviously switch back to mouse and keyboard and use that just fine. But I can also switch off of it and go straight back to the Wiimote. So let me just walk through every single little thing that I have mapped at the moment, and then we will check out the editor, and even we'll add some extra functionality to use the Nunchuk. We'll do that together so that you can see exactly how I'm pulling all of this off. So just going around the Wiimote, first off is the trigger at the bottom, and that is what I'm using to break blocks. So every time I click the trigger, it will break a block. Next is the D-pad at the top. That is how I am moving around. Next is the big A button right in the center. That is what I have to press to activate the looking, and then obviously I just move the Wiimote around in order to look in a direction. It's better in short bursts, so almost like you're using a really non-sensitive mouse to sort of look around. If you leave it on and kind of look around, it gets a little bit lost sometimes, and then you're like really working it to try to get it over there. So it's better if you do little like short movements to get it to where you gotta go. Then you have your plus and minus and home keys. Minus will move to the left of on your hotbar, and then plus will move to the right, and then the home button is your jump. Now, the biggest issue is right now, if you want to run and jump, you need to like do this weird claw maneuver in order to get over there, or you need to use a second hand, because those buttons are very far away from each other. So you just got to keep that in mind at the moment. Then at the very bottom, you have 1 and 2. 1 is what your crouch is. I'm going to hit F5 on my keyboard. You can crouch, and then 2 at the very bottom is your inventory. And when you have this open, you can still use the button, the A button here at the top, in order to move your mouse. Right now it's looking a little weird, but there you go. You can still use it to move your mouse around, because that's really all that it is doing in the game, is it's just moving your mouse in a direction so that you will look in that direction. There's no real fancy code going on. So that is literally all of the buttons on the Wiimote. Now, we've covered all the buttons on the actual Wiimote, but what we haven't covered is right click. So I've showed how to destroy blocks, but how do you place blocks? Well, there weren't enough buttons on the thing, so I added a motion control. So anytime that I flick the Wiimote, but every time you flick it, then you will place down a block, which I think no buttons required, just kind of tapping the Wiimote, and that is called a drumstick hit. So let me show you how I am pulling it off and the tool that I'm using to pull this off. So this is the tool that I am using. And I will also say that you do need a Wiimote that has, oops, I'm using it here. Let's hit stop so that it won't capture the Wiimote. You do need a Wiimote that has Wii Motion Plus inside. So you'll need to see this Wii Motion Plus at the bottom of your Wiimote. If you're using an old Wiimote from the very first Wii, sorry, that is not gonna be usable. You need to have the Wii Motion Plus attachment onto the bottom of it. But this will give you improved accuracy, and it's required for this program to work. So that's the program that we're looking at right now. How do we get it, and how do we use it? This is the GitHub for the project. So this has a little bit of a explainer here on how to do it. In order to get this, see this clone or download button, click that and click download zip, and then you will have all of this zipped up on your computer. I followed these instructions right here on how to add my Wiimote to my computer. So you go to, and this is a PC only thing, sorry those of you who are on Mac, but you go to your control panel, hardware and sound. You have to click it 1 and 2 a whole bunch of times until it shows up. Add it. You don't need a code. You just click next, and then it should add it. It took me 2 tries to get it to be added, but once it's added, it's been great. It hasn't failed at all. Your requirements up here, your hardware requirements are that you run Windows 8 or newer. You have a PC with Bluetooth 4.0. You have the Motion Plus, and you have Java or Bedrock, and it works on Bedrock as well. I just happen to be using Java because that's what I like, but it can work on Bedrock if you want to use it there. Once you have this GitHub installed, you need to head to a secondary one. So required software, see my repository here. This is another GitHub. And so you'll do the same thing where you download the zip to your computer, and then you'll have all of these files. And let me go show you that on my computer. So these are all the files that were downloaded from the secondary GitHub. And so this has this py-free.exe. That is the program that you will be running in order to implement your scripts and that you need a script that tells the Wiimote what to do, and then the program is going to affect your mouse and keyboard and all that sort of stuff. So it actually has a Wiimote scripts already in here, and so if you double click in here, you can see all of these other ones: Lego Batman, Fantastic Four. So it has a ton of scripts already made. This is the secondary GitHub that I told you to download. I went ahead and unzipped it and just put it into the Wiimote scripts folder. So this is what you're going to download from the first GitHub that I told you about. This one also happens to have a few extras. So I added the OMG Craft and OMG Craft Nunchuk files. These are the 3 that it comes with. And so you can either open this up in just a notepad, or you can open this up in the program itself. So how to do that is right click it, say open with, and then choose the right program, which is the GlovePy. Or if you just want to read these scripts, you can also just hit notepad and then it'll show up here. Now, I had some issues with the originals that came with the program. Over here in the program, I can actually go ahead and open, and these are the ones that came with, so I'll just open this Wii Control one. And my biggest issue was that it had WASD locked to the Nunchuk, which if you look in the naming convention, it says Wii Controls Wiimote Nunchuk. So I would have thought this would have not required a Nunchuk, but it did. So that's why I had some issues with it, and I decided to change up how this was all done. So I scripted my own version. So let me show you what I ended up scripting. So let me just give you a brief walkthrough of what I have entered in terms of the script. So I set the sensitivity. This I just copied. So really all I did was I copied the already made ones and then edited them to what I preferred. Then you have WASD. Those are all the D-pad at the very top. You have so the drum beat is the right click. So as you can see, the left side is what your computer is doing, and the right side is what the Wiimote is accepting, what input the Wiimote sees, and then what it is going to do. So all of this is pretty self-explanatory as you go down. It gets a little confusing past here. So there is a variable of the move button. So I've set that to the Wiimote A button, and then all this crazy code, and I just totally copied and pasted this, and this is all too complicated for me. So what I did is I just totally copied it, and I just changed it so that the A button is what you have to press in order to activate the motion so that you can move your mouse around. And then everything past here, it's over my head. I don't understand any of it. You just copy and paste it. So once you're happy with everything, you just click run. And then you open up Minecraft and just play as normal. It's as if there is a secondary controller running in the background. And in fact, even without Minecraft open at all, I can hold down A and I can move this around. I can move over here and I could click this and it will click. I could do the drum beat and it will right click. So it's literally just running as if it was another mouse and keyboard on my system, which is pretty cool. Now, I mentioned that we would be using the Nunchuk, and we will create a way to use this. I happen to already have this already pre-written. We're just going to delete that so that we'll start fresh. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy my current option, what I already made, and then we're gonna rename it what I just deleted. But this is the code is exactly the same. So this is the Nunchuk version of my script that I made. So we're going to go ahead and open this up, and we're going to open it in Notepad so that we can easily look at it. Remember, you can open up any of these in the actual program, and you can still edit stuff as long as it's not running, as long as that run button isn't pressed. You can edit as much as you want. You can even save it in there. So, but I find that when I'm trying to work with two things, it's going to be best to work with Notepad. And that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to take the new one that we're working on, and we're going to put it over to the right side of the screen. And I'm going to grab this one that already has some Nunchuk information installed. This was from the first GitHub that I showed. We're going to open that so that I can use some of this code and edit alongside what I am going to be making, because I like my key layout over here that's already set up. So now we have this one which we can copy off of, and this one which we already like. So I'm just gonna head to this top of this document and just add some extra space. It doesn't, all these spaces, they don't matter. It's really, it could be anywhere in this whole document. This one is the one I'm going to copy. So first, this is obviously Nunchuk Joy. I believe that stands for joystick. So I'm just going to hit copy. I'm going to paste over here. That sounds great. The joystick is WASD. We really only have 3 buttons. We have the joystick, we have C and Z. So let's look. Wiimote, no, minus, no, Wiimote, nope. Z, there we go. Okay, well, we want the Z and we want the C. Perfect. So now I have to decide, what do I want these to be? Well, the only issues that I really had on my previous version with just the Wiimote was that it was hard to jump, and that I had to do this weird motion thing to right click. So let's change one of these to right click. Let's say Z, which is the big button at the bottom. So Z, I want to be right click. Currently it's set to left click. So literally I'm just going to copy and paste, and now it is right click. Then jumping was difficult. So this top button, that's the C button. So C, I'm gonna have be space. So over here, space. I already have that in my document. I'm gonna copy it. I'm gonna come over here. I'm gonna paste it. There we go, we're done. The only thing that I could think that might be an issue is that currently that drum beat thing that's when I flicked the controller, that's still turned on, and there's a chance that maybe if I'm moving fast, it'll think that I'm right clicking. And since I have the Nunchuk already attached in this setup, I'm just gonna go ahead and remove it so that I don't have two variables. Do notice that I have space here and space here. That's totally fine. You can have this buttons that do the same thing. If I wanted 5 different buttons on the Nunchuk and Wiimote that do the same thing, totally fine. And so we can just move ahead with that. I'm gonna go ahead and hit save over here on the Nunchuk version of mine, and we can just close it out of this other one that I was copying from. Over here in the program, I'm gonna do File, Open. We're going to choose this one, OMG Nunchuk. Go ahead and click open. And sure enough, there is everything that we want. And like I mentioned, you can edit in here. So if for some reason I found out that, oh my gosh, I really want these switched, I want right mouse button to be over here where space is, I could do that. Well, if I don't want to, I can go back and all that stuff. So once we're done, all we do is hit run. And now it is already running. We have our Nunchuk. We have our Wiimote and our Nunchuk, and let's see if they work. Oh, they do. They do work. So now I can easily walk forward. I think I can. I can even double tap forward and sprint. I just accidentally clicked the wrong button because my jump is the C key. Does that work? Yeah, that does. So I can run. I can sprint now. I can sprint run. Oh my gosh! Thank the maker, which is me, because I made this script. So jump. And then let's see, I can easily break blocks, and I can easily place blocks as well. This is fantastic. Everything is working exactly how I want it to. I really like the addition of the Nunchuk, because that makes it so much easier to not have to worry about placing my thumb on the Wiimote and looking around. And if I wanted to, add on to this build, I could just add. I'm still getting used to the controller, as you can tell. Way easier to make things with the Nunchuk. Whoa, getting a little sensitive. There we go. Boop, boop, boop. Boop, boop, boop. What, did I see chicken over there? Did I see chicken? Oh, I hear it. There it is. Get wrecked, chicken. Hiya! On God! I actually now think that before it was a little harder to use the bow, but now I think, oh yes. Oh, I can use the bow just fine. Chicken, you don't know what's coming for you if I could just aim just a little bit less sensitive. There we go! Wrecked chicken is wrecked. I love it. There you have it. Easy ways. Easy-ish. I mean, it did take a little while, but I would say for adding a device that was totally not intended to be used in Minecraft and then adding it into Minecraft, I think it's pretty epic, and I am surprised that it even works at all. I hope that you found this video useful and fun. If you did, please give this video a big ol' thumbs up. Also, make sure you subscribe for future videos. We don't want ticks. Ticks are bad. Tips, tricks, tutorials, and spotlights here on OMG Craft. I'll see you next time. Bye!